Airbus says this jet will destroy Boeing forever. In this video, we explore Airbus's bold move to succeed where the A380 stumbled. The A390 is rumored to be a long-range, fuel-efficient, wide-body jet, designed to carry more passengers than any twin-engine aircraft while cutting costs. Airbus is betting on new materials, smarter engines, and a changing market to make this plane a Boeing killer. If it works, the A390 could rewrite the future of commercial flight. To understand why Airbus is placing such high hopes on the A390, it helps to start with Airbus's origins and what the company has learned through its history. Airbus began in 1970 as a European aerospace consortium primarily led by France and Germany to challenge the American dominance in commercial aviation. Their breakout moment came with the A300, the world's first twin-engine wide-body jetliner, which first flew in 1972 and entered service in 1974. It offered airlines a more fuel-efficient alternative to older four-engine designs and helped Airbus earn its early reputation. Airbus then reached a new milestone in 1987 with the A320, the first commercial jet to incorporate fly-by-wire controls, meaning flight inputs were handled through computer systems for greater safety and precision. Over the following decades, Airbus expanded its product line to include other successful twin-engine models like the A330, A340, A350, and the rebranded A220. By 2019, Airbus had surpassed Boeing in annual orders, deliveries, and revenue, marking its rise as a global aerospace powerhouse. Then came Airbus's most ambitious project, the A380, a four-engine, double-deck aircraft capable of carrying over 800 passengers. It was an engineering marvel, but commercially, it fell short. The program's development costs escalated to over $25 billion. Airlines balked at its inefficiency, and many airports could not easily accommodate its size. As airlines shifted preference to smaller, more efficient twin-engine jets, Airbus ended production of the A380 in 2021, with just 251 aircraft delivered. Airbus learned an important lesson. Ambition alone is not enough. Aircraft must align with market needs. Enter the A390, a concept designed to combine the A380's long-haul capacity with the efficiency of modern twin-engine designs. Reports suggest Airbus plans to reuse parts of the A380 frame while replacing four engines with two high-efficiency engines, delivering fuel savings, reduced weight, and simpler operations. This configuration could offer capacity for over 500 passengers on ultra-long-range routes while keeping operating costs in check. Industry insiders note Airbus's success converting the four-engine A340 into the twin-engine A330 shows the company has relevant expertise for rapid development. This background could allow Airbus to accelerate the A390's design and deployment, potentially leapfrogging Boeing's long-haul jet offerings, assuming Airbus acts swiftly. Through this, we see Airbus's evolution, founded as a challenger, innovating with the A300 and A320, reaching leadership in commercial aviation, experiencing an ambitious but flawed misstep with the A380, and now positioning the A390 as a smart, efficient contender in the ultra-long-haul market. Loving this journey so far? Stay with us because next we'll break down the bold claims, the design secrets, and why Airbus believes the A390 could rewrite the rules of long-haul travel. For Airbus, the A390 is more than a jet, it's redemption. Imagine a plane that keeps the scale of the A380 but strips away its weight and waste. A flying machine with just two powerful engines, lighter materials, and room for over 500 travelers across continents. Airlines are already watching closely. After all, Airbus has done this before, turning the four-engine A340 into the popular twin-engine A330. This time, they want to go bigger, smarter, and faster. And with Boeing facing its own delays and setbacks, the stage has never been more open for a shakeup. But for all its promise, one question remains: can Airbus finally turn ambition into dominance, or will history repeat itself? Airbus's A380 was envisioned as the pinnacle of aviation ambition, a four-engine double-deck marvel built to redefine the skies. Yet by the time its production ended in 2021, only 251 units had been delivered, a slender fraction of the forecasts. Airbus had spent an estimated $25 billion on development, but market demand shifted faster than engineering. The aircraft's reliance on the traditional hub-and-spoke model paired with its massive scale, made it difficult to deploy profitably when airlines began migrating toward point-to-point strategies and more versatile jets like twin-engine wide-bodies. And it gets even worse. Globally, airlines began recalibrating their fleets. The A380 demanded specialized infrastructure, longer and reinforced runways, custom jet bridges, and expanded terminals. But airports lacked the budget or need to invest. That limited the aircraft to a handful of major hubs, cutting its flexibility. Meanwhile, twin-engine jets like the Boeing 777 and Airbus A350 offered comparable range and lower operating costs, and crucially could serve more routes with existing infrastructure. The aviation world also underwent a structural shift. Open skies agreements and broader route liberalization fostered point-to-point travel, eroding the A380's value proposition. Airlines avoided congested hubs and opted for direct flights between growing secondary cities, a trend Airbus did not fully anticipate. By contrast, smaller twin-engine aircraft offered increased frequency, flexibility, and reduced cost per flight, aligning more closely with emerging market needs. The economics of size also proved unforgiving. Operating an A380 depended on near-full flights to achieve break-even. Spare seats quickly became money lost. Fuel costs, reliability challenges, and high maintenance needs further eroded margins. Airlines like Lufthansa opted to retire several A380s and shift toward modern twin-engine models such as the Boeing 7879 and Airbus A350 XWB. The COVID-19 pandemic accelerated the retirement of super jumbos. Ridership plunges made it impossible to fill the largest planes reliably. Airlines grounded or phased out their A380s faster than expected, while mid-size wide-bodies like the A350 and Boeing 787 became fleet workhorses. Airlines realized that flying more frequent, right-size aircraft suited shifting demand better than high-capacity machines anchored to specific routes. Given this legacy, Airbus faces a tough question. How does it justify a new wide-body in a market that deliberately moved away from its last super jumbo? The A390 must overcome the A380's perception as a one-trick marvel. Beautiful, but business weak. Airbus must prove not only that the new jet avoids past pitfalls, but that it aligns with today's airline economics, route flexibility, and infrastructure realities. No easy task, and the challenge begins with escaping the shadow of a giant. Airbus's ambition with the A390 hinges on one central engineering challenge: constructing a twin-engine aircraft that retains or even surpasses the capability of four-engine wide-body predecessors, all while cutting weight, emissions, and running costs. Can they pull them off? Tighten your seatbelts. What you're about to hear will blow your mind. At the heart of this effort is engine innovation. Airbus is partnering with Rolls-Royce in a Clean Sky 2-funded collaboration to integrate the UltraFan engine demonstrator. UltraFan promises up to 25% better fuel efficiency than first-generation Trent engines and features advanced carbon titanium fan blades, composite casing, and a geared turbofan architecture designed for higher bypass ratios. Airbus's contribution includes integration of engine, pylon, and nacelle systems, a critical step toward operational viability. Further progress is evident. UltraFan completed its first static test with 100% sustainable aviation fuel, SAF, proving both performance and environmental promise. The engine spans 3.5 meters in fan diameter, making it the largest turbofan ever constructed and capable of reducing aircraft weight by up to 700 kilograms per engine. Rolls-Royce is also developing a narrow-body variant dubbed UltraFan 30 alongside the wide-body model. The plan is to support both aircraft types with a shared engine family. UltraFan 30 is expected to generate over 30,000 pounds of thrust and target a 15-to-1 bypass ratio, helping to rationalize development costs across Airbus's fleet. But engines are only half the battle. Airbus must pair UltraFan with radically lightweight yet robust aircraft structures and systems. Structural designers need to optimize composite usage, cabin layout, and systems integration to support over 500 passengers while preventing the aircraft from becoming too heavy or costly to operate. Airbus's earlier success converting the A340 into the twin-engine A330 offers a practical template, modular reuse that accelerates development and reduces cost. Timeline remains a key constraint. Even assuming the UltraFan demonstrator paves the way, Airbus faces an estimated 4 to 5 years to design, test and certify the A390, potentially into the late 2020s. Any delay could erode cost advantages and give Boeing or alternative innovations an opening. Onboard systems integration adds another layer of difficulty. Airbus must seamlessly merge long-haul fuel management, fly-by-wire flight systems, and cabin environment controls without adding complexity or weight. Importantly, airline operators will expect maintenance routines comparable to existing Airbus A350 or Boeing 777 jets. Failing to meet that standard could rationalize the project's rejection. In sum, Airbus's engineering gambit for the A390 demands breakthrough innovation in propulsion, structure, and systems, all under tight development constraints. Triumph would mean delivering an efficient, high-capacity twin-engine wide-body that avoids the A380's pitfalls. Failure could spell another ambitious but commercially misaligned aircraft. Airbus's competitive momentum has been rising steadily, and if the A390 enters production, it may very well be the final straw that cements Airbus's dominance in commercial aviation. Consider the strategic breadth of Airbus's wins. Major network carriers such as Air France-KLM and Cathay Pacific have recently favored Airbus wide-body jets for fleet renewal over Boeing equivalents. For example, Air France took delivery of its first A350 in early 2024 to phase out older four-engine aircraft. Meanwhile, Cathay Pacific ordered additional A350-900s in 2023, citing reliability and cabin innovation as deciding factors that Boeing's delayed wide-body offerings could not match. In the ultra-long-haul market, Airbus has successfully placed its flagship A350-1000 on trans-Pacific routes that were once the domain of Boeing quadruple-engine jets. These deployments have not only proven superior fuel efficiency, but have also opened new non-stop city pair routes, like Paris to Montreal or Singapore to New York, without requiring excessive payload concessions. This is an enviable feat to say the least. On the high-frequency regional sector, Airbus's A321XLR has rapidly become a preferred choice for carriers aiming to link mid-tier cities with non-stop long-range service. Airlines that once relied on Boeing B7, 67, or even A330 setups are now standardizing on A321XLR for these routes, unlocking better economics and cutting travel times. Concurrent to these wins, Boeing's prospects have dimmed. Several flagship airline alliances have quietly deferred Boeing wide-body replacement orders in lieu of Airbus options with more predictable delivery schedules. Operational disruptions and warranty concerns plaguing the B737 MAX series have driven even some budget carriers to order A320neo jets, citing lower per-hour maintenance and downtime. The A390 now represents a culmination of this trend. If Airbus delivers a high-capacity, ultra-long-range twin-engine wide-body with superior economics and on-time production, it would likely be embraced by airlines seeking clarity and stability. In effect, Boeing would be left without a comparable product, forced to market older or delayed offerings, making Airbus's advantage not incremental, but definitive. Consider carriers in emerging markets such as Air India or Ethiopian Airlines, where long-haul expansion is critical. If Airbus can offer the A390 at a competitive price and with predictable timelines, these carriers may accelerate fleet modernization plans, opting for Airbus over Boeing for both value and momentum. The A390's entry would also shift alliance-level ordering strategies. Major airline alliances might standardize Airbus wide-bodies for long-haul segments to maintain operational homogeneity and fleet commonality. As more carriers commit to Airbus's ecosystem, Boeing would face rising barriers to entry. Airbus's success to date has been built on technological consistency, supply chain efficiency, and responsive product development. Should the A390 manifest as promised, combining next-gen engines, lightweight materials, and long-haul comfort without excessive cost or project risk, it could be the decisive factor that transforms Airbus from challenger to undisputed leader. Ultimately, Boeing is already ceding ground across multiple market segments. The A390 has the potential to close that gap completely, delivering the final blow, a strategic uppercut that shifts the narrative and the industry firmly in Airbus's favor. Despite Airbus's momentum, the reality is that there is no confirmed development program for the A390. Airbus has yet to file any regulatory documents, build prototypes, or publicly acknowledge that such a wide-body is being designed. At this point in time, the A390 remains speculative. Industry analysts estimate that if a decision were made to proceed, development could take 4 to 5 full years before the first aircraft flies. That timeline includes engineering design, certification, and supply chain setup. This assumes Airbus leverages parts of existing architecture, such as the A380's fuselage design, to reduce cost and complexity. Market expectations suggest that if Airbus were to greenlight the program soon, the A390 might realistically appear, or at least debut for service, in the latter half of the 1930s, or possibly beyond. That puts potential commercial availability toward the mid-20s, making it a long-term project. Airbus's current focus lies elsewhere. The company is heavily committed to improving its existing platforms, incrementally enhancing the A350 family, and expanding the A321XLR. Simultaneously, Airbus is investing in sustainable development technologies, notably its ZEROE hydrogen demonstrator, which aims to deliver a zero-emissions aircraft by 2035. This strategic pivot consumes much of its research and development bandwidth, pushing any new wide-body project into a lower priority lane. Beyond timing, the commercial feasibility of the A390 hinges on multiple critical market factors. Airlines must demonstrate sustained level demand for very large high-capacity jets, a demand profile that did not sufficiently materialize for the A380. Modern fleets favor flexible twin-engine aircraft with lower per-seat costs over super jumbos. Unless Airbus can identify a compelling niche, perhaps in ultra-high-density routes, it faces a steep task in securing firm airline commitments. Cost is another substantial risk. Developing a new wide-body could cost Airbus upwards of $15 billion in research, development, and testing expenses. To recoup such an investment and justify production, Airbus would likely need airline interest totaling over 400 units, a number airlines would only commit to if they are certain of long-term profitability and efficiency. Wait, it gets even more interesting. Environmental and regulatory pressures also weigh heavily. Any new wide-body would have to exceed current emissions targets, incorporate next-generation engines, and accommodate sustainable aviation fuel, SF, or hydrogen-ready architecture. As airports worldwide rethink infrastructure, the A390 must align with evolving environmental policies, without incurring a cost penalty at either the airline or airport level. Finally, Airbus must consider competition. Boeing is expected to continue developing its own products, such as updated 777-X variants or a next-generation clean-sheet widebody. If Airbus waits too long to launch the A390, it risks entering a market already filled with competing or substitute aircraft. The timing of decision-making is therefore critical. Launching too late could diminish the A390's uniqueness and conditioner adoption. While the A390 remains an intriguing concept, Airbus faces major reality checks. There are no current plans. The company is investing in other fronts. Airline demand is uncertain for ultra-large jets. Development costs are vast. Environmental demands are increasing, and Boeing may respond aggressively. Unless the stars align on market demand, sustainability, and strategic focus, the A390 may remain just an aviation what-if. The Airbus A390 story so far is not just about metal, engines, or technology. It's about a company that has learned, adapted, and kept pushing when others slowed down. Airbus has turned setbacks like the A380 into lessons, using them to sharpen its vision and execution. The A390, whether it flies or remains a concept, represents more than an aircraft. It's a statement of intent, a reminder that dominance in aviation is never permanent. Boeing may still hold ground, but the balance of power is shifting, and Airbus is shaping the fight ahead. The skies have always been a battlefield of innovation, ambition, and risk. The A390 could be Airbus's boldest strike yet, or its most expensive gamble. Which side of history will it land on? That's what makes aviation stories thrilling. If you love deep dives like this, uncovering the wins, losses, and what-ifs behind the world's biggest jets, this channel is your cockpit seat. Subscribe, drop a comment with the aircraft or aviation saga you want next, and stay tuned. We're just getting started. The next chapter of aerospace might be written before our eyes, and you'll want to see it.